This is Let's Talk Teens, a parenting podcast sharing tips on raising amazing teenagers. We are both certified life coaches that have worked with teenagers as coaches, mentors, and teachers. We are sharing what we have found to work best when dealing with teens and tough issues.
This is Let's Talk Teens with Abbi and Cheree, episode 66. One trick to help your teen be more positive.
So I'm always looking for little things that I can do, Cheree, because I know that you and we do this awesome podcast. We help a lot of teens, but I also hope parents know that I sit there in moments and go, oh, I'm failing at this, or oh, this is really hard. Like, because parenting is the single hardest thing I've ever done to myself. Like, it is the hardest thing. And I'm always looking for, okay, what's one thing I can do better? And so if you are a parent out there going, okay, what's one thing I can do better? Here is my tip for you today on being more positive and helping lead out with your teen. And it is to stop interviewing for pain. That is when we ask questions seeking for negative information. So here's some examples because you're probably like, I never do that, right? That's how I'm like, I would never do that. But
Oh,
have
I'm
you
thinking, yes, I do that. Thank you. I can't wait to learn from you today, Abbi.
well, maybe see if these like ring bells, like asking questions like, how did it go with all the girls sharing one bathroom? Right? I'm seeking out negative experiences, right? Are you still fighting with your friends? Is so and so being a jerk again? Did your math teacher give you another impossible assignment? Right? And here's how we sneak into this as parents. Those feel like camaraderie questions. They feel like I am your buddy and I see you in your struggle, right? That's why I'm asking if Sarah's being a jerk again, right? Because I'm on your side, right? And I totally get as a parent, I'm always trying to let my youth know I'm on your side. But there's a way of doing this where we don't have to constantly be bringing up negative questions because what does that have my teen do? Oh, yeah, Mom Sarah is being a jerk. And let me tell you all the reasons, or let me tell you why math was awful. And what message I'm subconsciously kind of sending my youth is I want you to look for the negative. Mom is going to ask me about how awful school was today, right? And so I'm going to feed her that. Instead of, we can take these same questions and kind of twist them a little bit of, hey, how did school go today, right? What awesome things did you learn? Hey, how did it go with your friends? Right? And when they're like, oh, Sarah was being a jerk again, we then can practice this and instead of going, oh, tell me about it, right? Because I'm interviewing for pain then. I'm going to interview for the positive and go, well, so was there somebody else there who was really awesome? Or, who did you hang out with instead? Right? And then they'll go, oh, actually, yeah, I really like me and Jane sat on the couch and we had fun. We were looking at TikTok or something, right? And so the way we can shape our questions will really help us to stop interviewing for pain. Because I don't know about you, Cheree, but like sometimes it's good to vent, right? We need to have our people to vent to. But then at some point, I'm like, I'm so done talking about this. I'm so done being sad about this, right? And our youth is going to feel that. And so we want to help them always spin it to not even, I know spin is sometimes a bad word, but we always want to help them realize there is good, there is wonderful things happening around me, and I don't always have to get into the my friends are awful conversation that I do with my mom or my dad.
I love this so much. I think this is probably something every human being needs to be reminded of because I think our brain looks for evidence, right? So
Mhm.
if we're asking those questions that way, our brain is going to find all the evidence of everything that went wrong. And that's going to cause us to spiral down. And then if we're reframing those questions and be more positive, like you're teaching, which I love, then it gives us evidence of what's going right. And then we help our teens spiral up. Huge. Love it.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't want you to sit there as a parent and go, oh no, now I have to like pre-think out all my questions with my youth, right? Like that is so much mental work. And I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying when you find yourself interviewing for pain, right? And catching, oh, I just opened up. That's how I kind of know. I'm like, oh, I just opened up a negative thing. Oh, I just opened up a spiraling down. Just then get to the neutral, get to the, hey, what did you do today? How was school? They spin it down. You get back to the neutral, right? Like all the time instead of feeding into that, oh, yeah, tell me about how math is awful. Oh, yeah. So tell me about all the things they were doing as a jerk, right? We want to get back to that neutral and back to, hey, did somebody else like, okay, so Sarah's being a jerk. Who are you going to hang out with instead? Right? Like who are we going to text on Friday night to come hang out with or whatever that is so that we're not just going down and talking about it again and circling it about it again because we tend to do that, especially with not so much our children, but like with peers and with equals, like friends, girlfriends at lunch. Maybe we get down this spiraling of, oh, here's let me all the ways my kids are being so bad, right? Instead of just going, yeah, this and this is happening.
I love that one question I thought you could ask, as parents when they are going down that like, this friend is being a jerk this way, or I totally failed my math test, is just simply be like, oh, what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to handle that? Like, helping them
Mm,
start to like find a solution to the problem instead of, or even just showing this confidence of like, oh, that's hard. And I bet you're going to find a perfect way to solve that problem. So you're helping them start looking for solutions instead of getting stuck in the negative.
yes. And let me give you an example, Cherie, of how my dad did this to me. I feel like my dad is like the perfect example of doing this. I had seen, isn't this such an adult thing? I'd seen that taxes were getting raised in my county by like 17%, the things we see on and I told my dad, because we live right really close to each other, and I was like, Dad, did you see our taxes are gonna go up like this much money? You know? And I expected him to be like, yeah, but he was like, yeah, what you gonna do about it? He's like, and I was like, Dad, don't you like care? And he's like, Abby, I can't fix that. He's like, so yeah, they are going up, right? And it just like so disarm. I was like, okay, well, I guess we're not gonna complain about taxes today, right? Like,
Oh, I love that. That's a perfect example, though. I think that's just a perfect example of like kind of stopping the negative spiral
yep.
and just being like, okay, no control over that. Let's not waste our energy, time, or personal peace on that.
Yeah, and it was fake because I did laugh because I was like, oh, like I thought we were gonna like talk about that, but I was like, okay, and then we'd like talked about something else, and I just thought, oh my goodness, there my dad just did it. Instead of me, I lobbed up a question there, right? That was negative, and instead of diving into that, interviewing for the pain of, oh yeah, what are we gonna do about that? Oh, how much money would that be on your house, right? All those things. He's just like, yeah, cool. I can't figure. Okay, whatever. I was just like, okay, dad.
And then you can move on, and that pain does not, multiply.
Yeah.
Just it's so good. I love this interviewing for pain. I'm going to use this and I'm going to think about how often I do this.
I well, now we're gonna start catching it. My hope is everybody else, you might notice this at first, and hey, don't get yourself down. I love Sharee's queen of this, of just, being curious of, oh, why was I gonna ask it that way versus this way, and just kind of rethinking that. And notice, here's what I do when I'm trying to do a new habit or like get out of, oh, how am I going to catch myself doing something that's very nuanced, right? I like to surround myself or look at examples of people who are really good at doing the positive. So, like my dad. So then I'll think in my head, instead of, how can I positively ask this? I'll just go, oh, how would my dad ask this?
I
How
love that.
would this person ask this? And it's way easier for me to think about it that way.
I love that. That's great. Such a good idea.
Hey, well, parents, we hope that this helps you out. This is our one little quick trick for you today. And, good luck trying it with your teens and your family. And we can't wait to see you in our next episode. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Teens with Cheree Murdock and Abbi Winslow. If you are looking for more tips to help your teenager, here's where you can find us. You can find Cheree Murdock on Instagram at Cheree Murdock Coaching or on her website, ChereeMurdock.com. You can find me, Abbi, on Instagram as Abbi Winslow or on my website, AbbiWinslow.com. Please rate and review our podcast and share with a fellow parent. Thanks for listening.